It is 11 o'clock. We'll catch up with Mike Rodak, who covers the Alabama Crimson Tide for Bama 247 momentarily. Last night in the NFL, Niners over the Rams, 26-23. How about Mac Jones, former Alabama quarterback? He was 33 of 49 for 342 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, playing on a bum leg. And the Niners shocked the Rams last night. In college football, it was New Mexico State taking out Sam Houston 37-10. How about this? The Aggies, this is the program's seventh team since 1975 to hold a winning percentage of above 600 through the first 5 games of a season. They just have not had very good luck in regards to wins in that program's history. But they are now 3-0 at home this season, 1-1 in Conference USA, 3-2 overall. So good for them as they took out Sam Houston last night, 37-10.
Well, our friends at the Finnick, I tell you about them every single day here on the show, but that is your place. If you're not going to Tuscaloosa, maybe you're going to Protective Stadium to watch UAB and Army tomorrow morning, but you can get into the Finnick, whether it's tonight, whether it's Saturday, or whether it's Sunday, or for Monday Night Football, or just all weekend long. The Finnick is a great place with a large video screens, a state-of-the-art sound. They do have live acoustic music. They'll have that this afternoon from 5:30 until 8, a live band starting after 10 o'clock, and then on the weekends, it's all dedicated to football. Major League Baseball playoffs, they'll have those in there as well. But you can make that your game day destination and check out the great menu, whether it's the shareables, whether it's the wood-fired burgers or the great wings. Check them out. It's the Finnick, 1630 2nd Avenue South near Railroad Park.
Joining us now on the Higginbotham Hotline, joins us each and every Friday from Bama 247. Mike Rodak joins us now. Mike, I hope you're doing well on this Friday.
Yeah, doing well. How about you guys?
We're doing well. So Athens treated you well, I take it?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a quick trip in and out. Obviously, too expensive to stay there, so it was more of an Atlanta trip and going to bed at 3:45 and waking up at 8 and slugging along through Sunday, as often is the case on a road night game.
I'm curious about the condo that the family has near Bryant Denny. Is everything in there? Is that thing operational? Conrad wanted to know if he could come by.
Yeah.
I think it is. I've not been down there yet personally, but the furniture is out of our house, which, like I said, was
that was the
win.
Goal. Yeah.
So we accomplished that. Anything else is just extra, but as far as I know, it's all in there. And I don't know if they're using it this weekend, but we can always rent it out, I guess, and make a little extra cash. Who knows?
There you go. All right, so let's go back to Athens. I'm just curious, as the game is playing out in front of you, what was the most shocking development in that game to you that you did not see forthcoming as you were getting ready to cover the game? Was there one aspect that really shocked you?
I don't know if anything truly shocked me. I think the game played out the way I thought it would if Alabama was going to win, if that makes any sense. I thought they needed to win with Ty Simpson, his arm, and their receivers, because I think that's where they had the advantage over Georgia. And that's basically what happened. Granted, it was more the first half than the second half, but they did, enough in the first half through the air to win the game. I think the running game was basically as expected. I think the defense played as expected. There were some questions against the run. They did better against the pass. Gunnar Stockton was about as expected. If Alabama can make the plays through the air, I think they were going to win that game, and they did. So in that sense, it didn't shock me. I mean, the Caden Proctor play was obviously out of left field. I think the amount of rotation along the offensive line was surprising to me. Maybe not shocking, but all the different players that they played and some of the plays that they kind of dug up out of the playbook. I mean, that was interesting to see, but honestly, it was not a game that shocked me. I thought it was going to be a close game. I thought if Alabama couldn't stop the run and they couldn't run the ball themselves, then they had to find a different way to win. And in this case, they did.
Mike, something that shocked me, I didn't think he'd be bad. I thought he would be far better than average. But Ty Simpson, the level of play that we've seen from the Alabama quarterback, especially in the last 3 games, it's blown me away. How much better is Ty Simpson than what you thought he would be?
I mean, the pass protection helps because, there's people who kind of watched that Florida State game and said he wasn't really the problem. and he had 19 pressures against him in that game, or 22, kind of depends on which source you use. But there was a lot more pressure in the Florida State game than there has been in the last 3 games. So you give Ty Simpson time, and that's obviously going to help because he has the accuracy and all of that. But for him, I think it slowed down for him, where that first game felt sped up. He felt like he was bouncing outside the pocket too much. He wasn't making the right decisions. He was just getting anxious with the ball and trying to do too much. And you've seen a lot less of that. I mean, there's a lot less of those plays where he's turning his back to the field and running backwards and running around for his life. It's just get rid of the ball, get the ball to the people that are making the plays. And he's done a really good job of that. I mean, his air yards per attempt, like how far he's throwing the ball, is not particularly high, but that's not really an issue. Like, I think it's, you get the ball in the hands of people who make the plays instead of trying to make all the plays yourself. And I think he's learning that. I think maybe back in high school in Martin, Tennessee, he could make all those plays with his legs. And we saw him try to do that on A-Day. We saw him trying to do that the last couple of years when he got into games. And that's not what Ryan Grubb wants. That's not what Kalen DeBoer wants out of him. It's his arm, and it's his mind. It's his ability to see defenses. So I think he's using that more and using kind of the playmaking with his legs a little bit less.
I'm curious if you went back and was able to watch and hear some of the comments that Kirk Herbstreit made about Ryan Williams, especially at the beginning of the game, not only him not catching the ball on that long pass that could have resulted in an early Alabama touchdown, but his blocking schematics. Should Alabama fans be worried about Ryan Williams right now?
Worry is always a strong word, but I do think there has to be some level of concern. And if you think about it, I know, look, he was 17 last year. We all knew that. He's 18 this year. He's young. That is true. Doesn't change his eligibility clock. Doesn't change really the path that people see as far as him going to the draft. I think even with the way he's played this year, it's not inconceivable that he goes and comes out of the draft as a junior. And so if you're looking at it in that sense, he's almost halfway through his sophomore year in terms of the games that we know are going to be played, which means he's almost halfway through his Alabama career. And if he comes out after 3 years. And so this first half of his career has just been so up and down. And I feel like the potential is obviously there. We all know that. But the consistency is not there. And it just, you can kind of write it off a couple times where it's like, all right, he's young. He just needs to realize that he needs to stay consistent, et cetera, keep grounded, all that. But now that it keeps happening, that does make you wonder a little bit more. And with the receivers that they have on this team, there's no reason to take Jeremy Bernard off the field. Isaiah Horton almost doubled Ryan Williams' snaps in this past game. And then you have Latsier Brooks, who is coming on as well. So just like any other position, just let him compete. And I think you have to make Ryan Williams continue to earn kind of the spot that he's had since the beginning of last year. So, worry in the sense that he's never going to be what we thought he would. No, but I think there's concern that there's not enough consistency in his play to rely upon him. Assuming this team makes the playoffs, can you rely upon him to have 2, 3, 4 good playoff games in a row? I don't know.
Mike, it's certainly a game this weekend that Alabama fans have had circled since the game in Nashville last year. But how much has it resonated with a guy like Kalen DeBoer and that coaching staff? Because you think about Alabama's storied history, that was a pretty low moment in what ended up being a 9-4 season. Has this been a game that, whether they admit it or not, the Alabama coaching staff has paid special attention to, even in the offseason, and put extra emphasis on?
Yeah, you'd think so. But you also don't want to put too much focus on one game because this schedule this year is just so tough for them. And they don't get the benefit of playing Arkansas. They don't get the benefit of playing Kentucky. They don't get the benefit of playing Florida or Mississippi State even. And they're better than what we thought, but that's still a game I would like Alabama. And I mean, you're playing the best of the best minus Texas, Ole Miss, and A&M. So it's every single week. And if you come out like they did against Georgia and win, and then go out and lose against Vandy, you're kind of right back to where you were. Same thing's true. If you go out and have a big statement game against Vandy and you blow them out, and then you sleepwalk through Missouri next week at 11 a.m., people are going to be on your back again. So it's every single week. That's life in the SEC. It's cliche, but I don't know if you can put extra emphasis on it. I'm sure that when the staff was, middle of February, whatever it was looking at film from last year and game planning for this year, you're trying to find ways to stop Vandy from what they were doing from last year, especially for Kane Womack. But here's the thing, like Vandy's different. And Jerry Kill and Tim Beck and that offensive staff, I'm sure, will have a different wrinkle to throw at you this year. And the same thing's going to be true, the rest of the schedule, because you played all these teams last year, and a lot of the coordinators are the same. So I don't know. I think, you can have a plan to stop what you saw last year, but it might be something completely different. And I think Diego Pavia's arm and that passing attack is better than what it was last year. That's kind of been the word from the staff this week. So I don't know if last year's game matters at the end of the day quite as much, from a game planning standpoint.
All right, so let's talk about the game itself. I know you guys at Bama 247, you guys have already made your predictions and kind of broke it down how you think it's going to play out, so to speak. For those that have not been able to read the article yet at Bama247.com, tell our audience how you believe this game is going to kind of play out in your prediction.
Yeah, we all picked Alabama, and I think obviously a lot of tension is going to be on Diego Pavia and what the Vandy offense does against Alabama's defense, and rightfully so. I think that's a really interesting matchup. Vandy's offense is number one in the country in ESPN's efficiency ranking, which takes into account, the opponents that they've played, which have not been all that great. They're doing it through the air. They're doing it on the ground. Alabama's defense is banged up. There's a lot of questions in that, but I think you flip it to the other side of the ball. I mean, Alabama's offense can score 40, 45, 50 points in this game. I think there's that potential out of what we've seen from this receiver group, out of what we've seen from Vandy and their secondary. Same thing for Georgia. That's where you win the game. I think you have to just throw the ball. I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily the deep game, but we've seen it, from Ryan Williams. We've seen it from Jeremy Bernard. We've seen it from all these guys. And if Vandy can't stop that, then I don't think they win the game. I don't think Vandy wins the game if they can't do something about Alabama's passing attack. And ultimately, that's where I landed as far as a prediction. I think I had 38-31. But I think Alabama can score more than 38. I think they can put up 40 or more on this team.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, your teammates there, Alex Scarborough and Brent Greenberg, they both predicted that Alabama would win as well. So it should be a high-scoring game based on most all the folks that I have read and kind of broken down this game. And sounds like you're not different. I want to kind of piggyback something that Landrum asked you just a second ago. And unfortunately, because of the way the gauntlet is with the schedule, so based just like you said last week on this program, when we asked you if Alabama were to lose to Georgia, and you basically told us that it was not going to be the end of the season because it's the first game in the Southeastern Conference. If Alabama were to be upset again by Vanderbilt, and I know it depends on how the game would look, but just moving forward, what would that do? Would that be one step forward because the Georgia win and now two more steps back because you just lost to Vanderbilt? Where would this team be in your eyes with a loss to Vanderbilt?
So I think perception-wise, that's obviously worse than losing at Georgia. I think you could have written off, a loss to Georgia as being on the road against a really tough team, et cetera. I think the fact that it would be at home, number one, number two to Vandy, which, people respect more, but it's still Vandy. And then the fact that you lost to them last year and you can maybe write off last year's loss as we didn't take them seriously enough. Well, it's hard to say that would be true again this year. So I think from a perception standpoint, it would be more damaging just for Kalen DeBoer and the staff to lose this game than it would have been, to have lost the Georgia game. But at the end of the day, in the standings, it counts just the same. I mean, it's one loss in the SEC. So again, it depends on how it would happen. And I think if you see continued issues with run defense in particular, then structurally, you're getting a little bit concerned for the rest of the year. And the ability to beat teams like Tennessee and maybe not LSU as much, but even Auburn, maybe can run the ball on you.
And don't forget, Oklahoma. You got Ahmad Hardy up there in Columbia licking his chops against that defense next week.
Next week, right. So I think just structurally, it's one of those things, if it keeps happening, how do you fix it? And you don't have the personnel. You're bleeding a little bit as far as some of the injuries. So That's just, it feels like something that's going to be hard to fix. If it continues to show up as run defense being a major issue, that would be pretty concerning.
That is Mike Rodak. You can follow his work at Bama247. Mike, it should be a good one tomorrow at Bryant Denny. We always appreciate your time. We'll catch up with you next week.
You got it. Thank you.
Thank you. That is Mike Rodak joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services. Well, I know there's a lot of football going on this weekend, but you need to take an opportunity to head out to Trussville to Courtesy GMC, right off of I-459 exit 32, right next to Lowe's. You can't miss it. 9 acres of inventory. And whether you're in the market for a all-new 2025 Sierra 1500 or the bigger Sierra 2500 HD, we're talking about tens of thousands of dollars off. So you need to take advantage of these incredible deals. And it's not just trucks. Drive off in a brand new Acadia. You can get up to $5,000 off in savings. The all-new 2025 stock Yukons there on site. You can get big-time deals on those as well. Plus, every new GMC comes with an exclusive 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Check out their online inventory at courtesybirmingham.com. Go by and see them. The showroom's got televisions everywhere, so you will not miss one single snap of a football over the weekend. Go by and see Josh Gargis, Drew Lawley, all the great people there at Courtesy GMC in Trussville, right off of I-459, exit 32. We will roll along. We have not been able to get to your text messages. We will open up the phone lines at 1-800-239-WJOX. So you can add Mike Rodak and the team there at Bama 247 predicting an Alabama victory tomorrow. We've been kind of keeping up with this as the week's gone on. You've had two writers from the Tuscaloosa News say Bama will win. One had 35-24, the other 31-23. Chris Lee from Vandy 247, he predicted 38-31. That was the exact same score that Mike Rodak just predicted, 38-31. Alex Scarborough from Bama 247, he's got Bama 38-27. And Brett Greenberg has Bama 41-31.
No 31-27s. We had a lot of those last week.
Yes.
I like Pat's 32-28 prediction last week. I thought that was gonna.
Yeah.
I thought that was gonna hit. I really did.
I did too. I was very disappointed.
Yeah, well, maybe this week. Well, something that's going on, it started last night, but it's going to continue on tonight as well as into tomorrow that you want to take advantage of. That's Coleman Oktoberfest running yesterday through this Saturday, and right now you're about to have a chance to win a pair of VIP tickets. All you're going to have to do is text this keyword FEST, F-E-S-T, to 205-834-9450. Again, text the keyword FEST, F-E-S-T, to 205-834-9450. Each winner is going to receive 2 VIP tickets valued at $80, which gives you entry to 3 VIP beer gardens, alcohol not included, 2 commemorative steins, and 2 $15 concession vouchers. That's all going on at the Coleman Oktoberfest going on this weekend up in Coleman. And if you want to enter your tickets, again, text the keyword FEST, F-E-S-T, to 205-834-9450. And for more information, go visit them online at ColemanOctoberFestival.com. That's October with a K.
So a couple of days ago, I was telling you guys about the Twitter geotags and the story about who would win the Heisman Trophy based on the number of people and the number of states of the people that participate on Twitter and the things that they say, hashtags, stuff like that. Well, I just saw another study that came out based on these Twitter geotags, and they have listed the most overrated NFL players currently. Who do you believe, according to this unscientific poll, again, it's data that's collected via Twitter on geotags, using hashtags. Who do you believe is the most overrated player currently in the National Football League?
Oh,
will you tell us what position they play?
Yes, I was going to do that. So I'm sitting here looking, and it's no big surprise. It appears that the top maybe 12 players in the league are all quarterbacks.
Okay, that's not surprising.
Yeah. I will submit Dak Prescott.
That's a good one. I will submit.
Matter of fact, the top 14 are quarterbacks. Matter of fact, coming in at number 15 as the most overrated player in the National Football League is Travis Kelce.
That's not a quarterback.
He would have
It's
been my
not a
non-quarterback guess.
I'm going to go.
All right, you said Dak. Okay.
I'm going to say this year Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson. Okay.
I'm going to say. I'll go Aaron Rodgers.
You'll go Aaron Rodgers. All right. So what I'm going to do, since I told you guys that Travis Kelce was the first non-quarterback on the list. So I'm going to work from Travis Kelce all the way to who is the most overrated.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Coming in next behind or ahead of Travis Kelce is Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
Lamar Jackson is next, followed by Jordan Love, Joe Burrow, Caleb Williams,
Okay.
Matthew Stafford, Justin Herbert, Kyler Murray, Aaron Rodgers. So now we're getting to what? The top 5. Most overrated players in the National Football League currently. Brock Purdy comes in at number 5.
It's a good one.
Russell Wilson at number 4.
It's just funny. Purdy at one time was probably the most underrated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At number 3, Trevor Lawrence.
Don't tell me number one's going to be like Patrick Mahomes or something.
So we're down to the number
Top
2
two.
and number 1.
You have not said Dak Prescott yet.
Coming in at number 2 from the Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott.
There you go, Landrum.
So we're down to 1.
It's going to be Patrick Mahomes, isn't it?
So you guys have heard me
Oh, no.
mention all the names from literally 15 to number 2.
Oh, Tua.
So you say Patrick Mahomes?
This does seem like it's setting up to be Tua, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm gonna guess Patrick Mahomes. It's gonna be something crazy.
I'll do something different. I'll say Tua.
I'll say Tua too.
Tua Tagovailoa
I don't know why I'm cheering.
is the most overrated player in the National Football League, and it
Oh,
wasn't even
Conrad.
close between him and Dak Prescott.
The worst part about this is I cannot defend that at all.
And
I
I'm
think
surprised
that is
you
bad.
didn't say that to begin with.
Well, I couldn't bring myself to do that. I think you
didn't-
could say he is easily the most overpaid player in the NFL.
But you have to think of it when we're talking about overrated. You have to, all right, well, you have to be highly thought of.
See, yeah, fair.
I feel like there's been the health history of Tua. That's been a knock. I never would have thought he'd been number one.
Number one, and what they do is they'll look at if someone tweets, for example, Dak Prescott is extremely overrated. They're logging that as kind of a so-called vote.
Well, this makes sense. The last month for the Dolphins has been pretty abysmal, so
That's-
that's I could see where this would have happened.
So of the five, Purdy, Wilson, Lawrence, Prescott, Tua, which one do you have the most problem with? Would it be Purdy?
Oh, that they don't belong on that list?
Right.
Oh, I think it's Dak. I think Dak is honestly underrated at this point. Like, he makes too much money probably because of what the market dictates. He's a good quarterback.
But
He's
he
a good
should not be at
quarterback.
number two.
He's
No.
he's better than all the other quarterbacks in that
The knot
group.
with Dak is he plays with the Cowboys.
Oh, totally understand that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I think he's significantly better than any of those other quarterbacks.
Oh, I'd take Dak all day long.
I
Yeah.
would definitely have Kyler Murray in my top five.
Yeah.
I've just
Yeah.
never.
That's good.
I've never.
I just don't think that highly of Kyler Murray.
Yeah. Well,
Is it because you can't see him?
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
He's short.
You got to be 5'9". Catch my eye.
That's interesting. Well, poor Tua.
Just
Tua's fine.
He can go cry to that
Right now.
$53 million salary.
Yeah, he's fine. He could hang it up today. He's going to be fine.
Yes, he is.
The babies
what
and,
was
the, and
that
the wife will be taken
bizarre
care of.
press conference? Was it yesterday?
He doesn't want to go on College game day and be the picker.
Talking about the fluid on the brain and stuff like that.
Yeah, he said, what was it? Something about if he doesn't drink enough water, like he doesn't have enough fluid going to his brain, and so it dehydrates him and gives him. It was weird.
Because then he started explaining like what's in people's brains. Like
the fluid
and it's
and
just I was like,
How he has to his diet. He has to have a specific diet so that he has enough brain fluid or something.
Yet he continues to go out there and
It's
play the
scrambled.
most violent sport.
It's scrambled eggs, and I hate it, but it is.
I see you're not sporting his jersey today.
We've been.
I think Bray Hubbard's earned that.
We've been.
that
There's no
spot
doubt.
on Conrad.
Couple interceptions. He was a headhunter last week
Oh, I know.
against
I
Georgia.
can't.
He's
Can't
been
break the
good.
trend right now. Oh, he's been our best defensive player by far.
He can change the game.
Give me 11 of those guys out there.
He wants that ball.
Big fan of Mr. Hubbard.
Coming for
Doing
you,
some big
Diego.
things.
He's coming for you, Diego. Hope you're listening right now.
I'm sure he is.
Tell Theo's mom we said hey.
When we come back on Three Man Front, we will get to your text messages at 205-834-9450 on the Courtesy GMC text line.
11:32, three-man front. Landrum, Pat, Conrad, Molly. Glad you're with us on this Football Friday. College football tonight. Western Kentucky and Delaware get things started. CBS Sports Network, 6 o'clock. Then you got Charlotte at South Florida. The Bulls, 28.5-point favorite out of the American. New Mexico is at San Jose State. 9 o'clock kick on FS1. West Virginia at number 23 BYU in Provo, 9:30 on ESPN. And then Colorado State is at San Diego State, also a 9:30 kick on CBS Sports Network. A lot of your interaction here on this Football Friday. You are active on the Jocks text line. We always appreciate that. 205-834-9450. A lot of comments coming in, whether it's score predictions, Conrad, whether it's something you've said today, something you've stepped in yesterday, the day before. So many options. Just giving everyone who is tuning in now context to where some of these texts are directed. So many to choose from. I mean, we got some good ones.
We have some creative listeners. No doubt about it.
Wimp Sanderson. Yeah, if you missed that one, it's always a delight. Wimp, a state treasure. Say it again, baby, and bring back the Redskins. Wimp was politicking for the Cleveland Indians to bring back their names.
Correct.
Cody says, Coach sounding like he lost some money on them Guardians. LOL. He might have.
Maybe so. Maybe that was his personal blue plate.
Going back to Blue Eyes. Oh, Blue Eyes, he polished off a bottle of Jack on stage every night. It was part of his rider.
Yeah, that was always my understanding with Frank.
Posey wants to know, ask Conrad if he knows what Adidas acronym stands for.
Isn't it like all day I dream about sports or something like that? Or
Close.
Something like that.
Very close.
What is it?
We'll tell you in the break.
Close to that?
Well, what it references could be considered a sport. Just take away sports.
Oh, okay. Oh, gotcha.
Molly knows.
Gotcha. Okay.
I went to an Adidas school.
But yes, all day I dream about
sports.
Close.
Yeah.
Close. I'm a huge Auburn fan through and through, says this listener. But this is typical Alabama chirping and teams saying, quote, we want Bama, and game time comes and Bama wins by 40. I love watching Bama lose more than anyone, but y'all watch Bama by 40 win, sadly.
Man, that'd be bigger than my 52-17 prediction.
Another one rolling in. This game will be over after the first quarter. Bama wins by 4 touchdowns. Okay? Vandy's America's team, and everyone hates Bama because they have fans like Conrad, says Zach. Zach, all the way out in California. Thanks for listening on the app.
Thank you, Zach.
Let's see if we have another one that takes a shot at Conrad.
I'm sure there's a few of those, Landrum.
It's all in fun, though. Do you take them in fun?
I do. I don't know if the listeners always do, but I do.
I think they're coming from a good place. Landrum, when the disparaging name for Bama fans are butthurt over not having a Bamoron alum or all-star on game day, the world becomes even more beautiful. Ooh, we're Bama. We're being shunned for who we are. Haha, tell Conrad to go pee his feet and take a chill pill.
I do that anyways. You don't have to tell me twice.
Another one coming in. Same listener. Landrum, upon further reflection to opine further, Tinkletoes banter is not from being confident or cocky. You're Twinkletoes, I think, in this scenario.
Tinkletoes,
not Twinkletoes. Thank you for correcting me.
Tinkletoes.
It's a concern. He fears Pavia. The rhetoric is a distraction from his concern of being, quote, anchored by the V. Forget Theo. Tinkletoes.
No, anchored by.
You still have Nick Saban on the set. Better focus on the Diego dance. Sincerely, Diego's mom. P.S. Fire, clue, sleaze.
That's
a good one.
That one line is really. That's a really good line. Get out of my head. How do you know these things? How do you know what I'm thinking?
Thank you for that. Brant just wants to send in Well wishes. Thank you, Brant. He said, hope everyone has a safe weekend. Love you guys. God bless. God bless you, brother.
Oh, thank you, Brant.
Be safe. Tay says 3 tutties. Ryan Williams, Jam Miller have breakout games along with Ty Simpson throwing for 400 yards.
Whew. That'd be a day.
I've never heard of a man cry about a guest picker on game day.
Well,
no,
you have
we've
now.
had it before. I remember the Bargatze thing. Woo. Everybody hated that.
I cry about a lot of things, though.
If Vandy wins, Conrad has to get a selfie with Diego and post it on every social media platform like a fanboy.
I'm not making any bets for the next couple of games. I'm betted out right now.
I heard Reese Davis speak on Barry and Wimp Sanderson's show about Theo Vaughn guest pick this morning on the way to work. Basically, he said that anytime a celebrity that big accepts the offer, they take it. Sometimes they have to go further down on their list to get somebody. Having relayed all that, seems like they should be more concerned with finding a popular picker amongst the home team rather than for national views. But we all know that ain't how ESPN with a $sign operates.
Well, and that was really kind of my whole point is, I mean, whatever. You don't have to take what I say seriously because you don't care because I'm an Alabama fan. But I would say the same thing if you had an Auburn game, right, and you go and get somebody. You want somebody, like, for that fan base, you want somebody that represents or you feel like represents you. That's the whole point, and that's the whole point of College Game Day, right, is you go to these campuses to get in touch with the community around that game and around that program, and it just feels like they're maybe skewing away from that in terms of just trying to get a big name that'll draw in casual football fan, which is fine if that's the way they want to go, but it just feels like they're not catering to the core audience of what they have anymore. But that's their business decision to do that.
I think I know the answer to this, but I'm going to defer to Pat. Pat, on the guest pickers, are they paying their own way?
Most of the time they will offer transportation, but that will be it because
Hotel if they need it, probably.
Yeah, but most of the time, because they used to have the deal with what was the private jet company?
Is it NetJet or no?
Something Up.
Yep. Wheels Up.
Yeah, that's it. They used to have a deal with them to where they would provide the private jet to bring them in, and most people will do it because they see the PR value of being on a show like that. So there's no other monies involved. They just pay for your transportation.
It's great exposure.
Absolutely.
You think that the 2.5 million people that tune into Game Day, maybe there's some that have not been exposed to the comedy of Theo Vaughn? He is funny.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand the frustration, some Alabama fans. But I don't know. I think Theo's going to know where he is. He's not going to pick Vanderbilt, right?
Well, I mean, he's personal friends with Clark Lee. I was reading an article where Clark Lee was going on and on about he considers him a personal friend. So you've got Clark Lee's personal friend up on set who has openly campaigned to get a date with the starting quarterback at Vanderbilt's mom. So
I think Clark Lee would be a good friend. He's got a nice family. Keep the text rolling in. We have more that we will clean up and we will get to. 205-834-9450. We're going to find out where the sharp money in Vegas is going. JR is going to join us next. We continue here on Three Man Front this Football Friday right here on Jocks. 11:44, three-man front. Lighter slate of games out of the SEC. Of course, Alabama and Vanderbilt. Kentucky taking on Georgia. Interesting game with Mississippi State, Texas A&M. State coming so close last week at home versus Tennessee. Texas A&M, we know the battle that they have with the Auburn Tigers. You're going to get that one on the SEC Network tomorrow night as that one kicks at 6:30. Oklahoma back in action. No John Mateers. He still recovers from the hand surgery. They'll host Kent State at 3 o'clock. Of course, you got Vandy and Alabama at 2:30 on ABC. Number 9, Texas at Florida. That's a huge game. 2:30, Texas. That line is dropped. -5.5 right now. Lagway, is he any better? We know Florida's defense has been solid all season. Can they get any offense? And Kentucky and Georgia leading things off at 11 a.m. Nationally, some other big games that everybody's paying attention to. Florida State, of course, and Miami. You're going to get that one at Doak Campbell Stadium. Should be a raucous environment in Tallahassee on Saturday night as well. Locally, you got UAB back in action after the bye week. We will be on the air right here on Jocks beginning at 10 a.m. tomorrow as I will originate with the UAB pregame show live from Protective Stadium. Pat Smith will be along all afternoon. Voice of the Blazers, David Crane, Bryant Turner, and others as UAB tries to pick up a conference win. I think they got an excellent opportunity to do so as they take on an Army team, not the Army team we saw last year, but an Army team that is 1-4 on the season and currently just around a touchdown favorite over the green and gold. So you want to keep it here all college football season long. We appreciate our listeners there in the southern part of the state, Jocks Mobile, Jocks Montgomery, and listening on the UMP there in North Alabama. Waiting for JR, but we will get to more of your texts as we got some time. 205-834-9450. This one coming in, this is Hunter in Homewood. He says, are y'all aware that Theo Vaughn purchased and lives in Derek Mason's old house in Nashville? Had no idea. I'm sure it's really nice. Reese Davis, Barry from Edison, says Reese Davis was clamoring for Bama fans to show up to college game day and basically called him out for not being as good a crowd as Tennessee and others. Then bring a guest picker that will appeal to the crowd. Just my thoughts. A guy that appeals to our crowd and our listeners. It's JR from Taking Vegas. He's going to give us a winner. He does every week. JR, how are you?
Andrew, I'm doing amazing, man. I was just talking with Mr. Producer off the air, and I'm like, I know I say it all the time, but my goodness. I mean, it is literally every season I feel like it starts, and by the time you wake up the next morning, it's already Thanksgiving. We're talking about being halfway through the college football season in a week or two. It's just insane how fast it goes, and we're having such a good time. We're making, clientele are doing great. Everyone really just could not be more excited about the very next day to come. And being it's a football Friday, we all know how big Saturday and Sundays are in this business. Like today is almost like my Sunday, and tomorrow starts my week. So I can tell you right now, we are more than excited with what's going to be taking place in college football, and especially in the NFL, where, by the way, I've only had one loss in the NFL in the last 2 weeks that I've given out to my clients. I love this matchup tomorrow between Alabama and Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt coming into, obviously, into your home, and they're 5-0 right now, sitting at number 16. Bama last year, if I remember right, coming off the win against Georgia, also took on Vanderbilt, lost that game. So you would think that they've got this one marked on the calendar big time, and a tough schedule to come, especially if they want to get into that playoff. So I will let you guys know not only whether or not Alabama's going to win that game, but whether or not, here's the most important thing, are they going to cover the 10.5 points? So here's what you do. Text the word WIN, W-I-N, to the number 545454. I'm going to give you that point spread winner. Absolutely free. No questions asked. All you do, text the word WIN to the number 545454, and we will give you that point spread winner on the house. And when I say on the house, there's nothing to it. You text the word WIN to 545454, and we literally deliver you the point spread winner of that matchup. So don't hesitate and take advantage.
You're so good with college football. You mentioned you're dialed in on the NFL yet again this season with only one loss. What has surprised you so far about the NFL season?
I guess one of the things that people aren't talking about enough is how about the Jacksonville Jaguars? I know they're 3-1, but I mean 13 takeaways in the last 4 weeks. That they have averaged or have had more than 3 turnovers in each of their first 4 games. Now, if you don't think even a guy like Patrick Mahomes, any quarterback going against that secondary is thinking twice before they release that football, because I mean these guys are great route readers. They are just hammering away at the football, and they are just creating turnovers. And we all know in the NFL, turnovers equal wins, and that's why I think the Jaguars are at the top of their game right now. And another one is, I don't think anyone at the beginning of the season thought for a moment that the Pittsburgh Steelers would be atop the AFC North, no less in all likelihood able to win that division against what was supposed to be a Super Bowl contender with the Baltimore Ravens, who've had nothing but issues so far. And, of course, now Cincinnati without Burrow is going to be in quite the spot. And we know, Jake Browning is not shown to be, even in the same class as Joe Burrow so far.
So if I'm someone who plays college football in the NFL, what I mean is I wager on games, and I call you JR and I say, all right, JR, I usually bet $25 a game, but man, I feel really good about this matchup. I feel so good, I'm going to lay it all down. I'm going to lay $2,500 down. What would you tell them?
If they told me that $2,500 was their only $2,500 for the season, I tell them that they're out of their minds. Now, if they tell me that they're playing with a bankroll of at least $25,000, then $2,500 isn't completely off track. Although I'd like to keep it down more like $1,000 to $1,500 in that 5 to 7% area. But you love something, sure, go the extra mile, bet 10% on it. But if you're betting $2,500 and your bankroll is $5,000, I tell you, you're absolutely crazy. You shouldn't bet it for more than a maximum of $500.
Because you're such a stickler on money management, and that's something that you teach all the folks that go to takingvegas.com and they text in, because you're going to sign them up, and you're there as their financial advisor, basically.
You know what? I do have, as you know, a background. I used to be a fiduciary, so I take it really serious. I look at your money like it's my own. And, in doing so, of course, my goal is to get everybody to bet more money, but we got to do it intelligently, and it takes time to do that. So I explain more than anything is I'm playing the long game. I'm not looking to make you a score this week. And as great as that'll be, that if we won every game and you made a nice little shot for yourself, that's awesome, but we're playing the numbers. I've been way over 60% for the last 11 straight years. I hit 66% during college basketball last year. That's 2 out of every 3, guys. So with the proper money management strategy set up for you in advance, and with you utilizing the discipline that it's going to take in order to execute that strategy properly, we're talking about taking you from being that, $100 player to being able to, let's say 3 months into it, being able to bet a couple of $1,000 on a game. And again, you're doing it with house money. That's the name of the game.
All right, before we get to the free pick, one more time on the text line, all the information for that Vanderbilt-Alabama game tomorrow.
Yeah, again, guys, I don't just give out any game. We give out games. We truly have an inside line where we like something big, and we love this matchup. I'm telling you, I know I've got the right side of this game locked up, so let me give it to you. It's absolutely free. I'm not charging you for it. All you do is text the word WIN, simple, WIN, to the number 545454. We're going to hit you right back and give you that game absolutely free, and you'll get it via text message. We get so many calls in here throughout the week that we've changed it to try to separate the guys that are serious from the guys that just want to know whether or not Alabama's going to cover the game. So that's why we give it out for free. Do yourself the favor, whether or not you plan on doing business with us or not, let me give you this play. Again, on the house. Text the word WIN to the number 545454, and I'll give you the winner of Alabama-Vanderbilt against the spread for free.
All right. We need a free pick. We need a winner out of the NFL.
Let's keep in mind, last year I started off the year 0-2, and I went on a sick rip, and we wound up hitting nearly 80% like we do every year. This year, we lost the first one, won 2 in a row, and now we lost another one. And that's because I had somebody talk me off of what should have been the winner with the over in the Dallas game last week. So I gave you guys the Chargers. I should have known better. I even said it in the interview. I hate going on the road and playing a game that is the equivalent of 10 a.m. for the LA Chargers after coming off a big win. But you know what? I'm not here to lick last week's wounds. Let's move on to winning some money this week. And I've got another one where the line did go up. I do want you to buy it down 0.5 point. But either way, I think they steamroll them one, even if you can't buy the 0.5 point. I love the Colts this week against the Raiders. Raiders had a real tough loss last week, and they were at home. They're getting beat up. They're getting beat at the line of scrimmage. Turnover party on defense is taking it from them. Geno Smith does not look great, doesn't look sharp at all. And the Colts are coming off a really tough loss, but still playing phenomenal football, scoring on almost every possession. The Raiders will not keep up with them. Look for the Colts to absolutely lambaste the Raiders this week.
All right. JR, one more time. Text WIN to 545454, right?
Got it, guys. Get the winner of Alabama-Vanderbilt absolutely free. Text the word WIN. That's WIN to the number 545454. Landrum, I love doing this. I really do, man.
Hey, we love having you on, JR. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you next week. Have a great weekend.
Be safe, have fun, and let's go out there and make some money.
JR joining us. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham's your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.